When fans found out there was going to be a remake of Beauty and the Beast, they were completely over the moon.
Be our guest, we our guest, be our guest.
And by that I mean, there were mixed reactions. After all, remaking classics is a touchy subject, and that's what the original is, a classic. Despite it being largely known as a complicated story about love and romance, sometimes people forget that Beauty and the Beast isn't all happiness and glee. Not only are there some dark and sinister moments, the characters themselves, how should I put this? They don't exactly have halos over their heads. Some characters defy morality to such a large extent that we have to wonder whether the main theme in this movie is not love, but evil. I mean, as amazing as the film is, so many characters are, well, awful. Not artistically, but morally, I mean. I'm Brad with Wicked Binge, and today we're ranking the most evil characters in Beauty and the Beast, because honestly, it has to be done.
That's not a request.
I say we kill the beast!
Belle's dad, Maurice. Not even a father's love for his daughter can erase the wrong that he has done in life. For a few people, Belle's father is one of the most evil characters seen in the film. A bit of a harsh judgment given that he is her father, but to some, they believe that he justly deserves this title. We don't think he's the worst, but we've got valid gripes. Firstly, he assists in alienating his daughter from the other villagers.
Papa, do you think I'm odd?
Although it's not his fault that he's a wacky inventor, everyone in the village recognizes that Belle isn't exactly your average girl. Still, despite her being clearly different, people would probably be more friendly with her if she weren't the daughter of the worst inventor in the world. Then let's follow the trajectory of the story. He foolishly makes the decision to follow the route passing through the scary dark forest.
Let's go this way.
Unsurprisingly, he ends up getting lost while going to the fair. And frankly, he broke and entered into a scary castle, never a good idea, and wound up Cogsworth, who clearly wasn't particularly thrilled by that.
Ow!
Plus, he sneezed in his face. And who just goes into some stranger's house and starts touching everything? To make matters worse, after he gets captured, his daughter has to go save him.
Papa!
Trading her freedom for an eternity with this animal in order for him to go freely. Not exactly deserving of the Father of the Year prize if you ask me. And maybe if he weren't a lunatic or knew how to string along a cohesive sentence, everyone in town would believe him when he tells them what happened.
He's got her locked in the dungeon. Who? Belle. We must go. Not a minute to lose.
But nope, he's totally useless. Gaston. Gaston is typically considered to be a central villainous character in the film.
Gaston, you are positively primeval.
Why, thank you, Belle.
He possesses all the trademarks of a bad guy, at least in the context of this film. He's arrogant, cocky, pompous.
You know, Belle, there's not a girl in town who wouldn't love to be in your shoes.
And will stop at nothing to get Belle as his woman, despite the fact that the feelings are not mutual. From an analytical point of view, Gaston acts as a foil character to the Beast, who was, like Gaston, vain and cocky as well. Interestingly enough, there are several theories which either underrate his evilness or show this character in a whole new light. How can this be possible? This is the same character who tried to kill the Beast because Belle didn't love him. How can he be anything but evil? Well, we'll talk about the Beast in a moment, but really look at Gaston's character. Arrogant? Okay, yeah, but also brave and willing to risk his life for the woman he loves. I mean, he stormed the castle to kill a literal beast who he fought one-on-one. I'm not saying he's a good guy.
Kill the beast!
No, I won't let you do this!
If you're not with us, you're against us.
He's not. He's got plenty of horrible personality traits, but bravery has to count for something, especially when you factor in folklore of the setting. This one in particular. In many tiny villages scattered across southern France, a large beast terrorized the people. In its rampage, it murdered over 100 French civilians and left several others injured. As the attacks raged on, Louis XV was forced to hire royal hunters to kill the beast. Despite their efforts, it took many months until they were able to locate it. Because of the horrible tale of the beast, which has been passed down from generation to generation, the statues have been erected as a monument to those involved in the attack. Given that the film is set in the 1800s, there's no doubt that the tale of the beast would have had even more cultural significance during that time, making people even more afraid, and Gaston even more brave. As a result, the villagers would have considered someone like Gaston a hero, given that he wanted to kill the monster.
We're not safe till his head is mounted on my wall.
Lefou. When you ask fans, who's the villain in Beauty and the Beast, Lefou isn't exactly the main character who comes to mind. However, make no mistake, this little weasel is no angel. Being Gaston's sidekick is not an easy task, and believe you me, Lefou lives up to it so well. What if I told you that Gaston isn't all that bad? Rather, Lefou is the real evil one, egging Gaston on.
Gaston, you've got to pull yourself together.
When you really look at it, Lefou is the one who encourages Gaston to carry out his grand scheme at the end of the movie. Really, Gaston is a conceited meathead who doesn't have the mental capacity to think up as elaborate a plan as the one he pulls off. The real mastermind is Lefou. We simply can't forget the song lauding and praising Gaston as the greatest person in the world. Lefou is actually the one who begins singing the song, seemingly in order to raise his friend's morale and to boost his self-esteem when he's at an extremely low point. Flash forward to the reprise. Both Gaston and Lefou are scheming to X out Maurice. It was Lefou who happened to casually mention crazy old Maurice, which sent Gaston off like a rocket.
Crazy old Maurice.
Furthermore, Lefou is the evil little one who coaxes Maurice into talking about the beast. In doing so, the villagers brand him as crazy, which lands him a trip to the asylum.
He was raving like a lunatic. We all heard him, didn't we?
All of which means that Gaston will be able to marry Belle without any issues. Lefou is a true criminal mastermind. What makes him great isn't the fact that he has a bad heart, rather that he has a wicked mind to boot. But why do all this? Well, frankly, it's because of his odd obsession of Gaston, whether it's because he himself is in love with Gaston, or he's just living vicariously through him. He wants to help Gaston achieve what he wants. The Beast. It's true. I'm not saying Gaston is a saint, but I don't care how you present things. The Beast is not a good guy. Look, I get it that Maurice was breaking and entering, but you just can't imprison him in your basement for life.
And he shouldn't have trespassed here.
And you sure as heck can't trade him for his daughter. Seriously, what is wrong with you, dude?
You cannot possibly understand.
I mean, look how quickly he comes up with these arbitrary rules for imprisonment. This guy is clearly sick in the head.
You must promise to stay here forever.
Yes, he lets Belle go, but that doesn't erase anything. You can't kidnap someone until they have Stockholm Syndrome, release them, and then it magically becomes legal. Also, let's not skip over his personality. Sure, Gaston is narcissistic, but so is the Beast. And his awful personality is exactly why he was cursed. And I'm not saying he deserved to be cursed.
Bring me my presents.
But we'll get back to that point later.
The day my life ended.
But my point is, his aggression, temper, and selfishness is present right away.
Do you realize what you could have done?
And I guess you can say he changed, but if the curse you're stuck with requires you to fall in love or not be an insufferable, aggressive narcissist, then obviously you're gonna change for selfish reasons. The Asylum Director. This guy plays a really small role in the film and stays in the shadows throughout most of the story, but the truth is, based on his few moments of screen time, this guy is one of the most vile Disney characters ever made. At the end of the day, other characters are driven by something personal. Gaston wants the girl, and one can argue his vain behavior is out of defense for his own insecurities. The Beast is selfish and kidnaps people, but he's been dealt a pretty terrible curse in life. He has some justifiable anger. This guy? This guy is objectively a sociopath.
So you want me to throw her father into the asylum unless she agrees to marry you?
He agrees to throw an innocent person into an asylum for money. But what's even more crazy is he actually takes joy in it. He finds the whole scenario delightful.
Oh, that is despicable. I love it.
This guy is probably the most uneasy character in the film because he represents a level of sick corruption that legitimately exists in real life. The Enchantress. Topping our list as the most evil character is the Enchantress, better known as the woman who curses everybody in Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas. Before we really get into how this woman is so evil, let's just state facts. Anyone who curses an 11-year-old boy on Christmas Day has some serious issues that they need to work on. I don't care how much of an entitled brat the kid is. You're an adult. He's 11. What the heck is the matter with you? Now, in this spin-off, the old bat is seen in a worse light in comparison to the original film. In the beginning scenes of the original film, the prince didn't allow her to enter because she was ugly. Despite the woman cautioning him that, quote, beauty is found within, the prince doesn't heed her warnings and doesn't allow her to enter. It was at this point that she turns him into a beast. Now, let's compare this account to what happens in the spinoff. On Christmas Day, the woman stops a kid who's barely even a teenager. He rejects her once, and for that, she turns him into a beast. A boy who's barely out of diapers. Was that really necessary? Why? You don't live up to the moral standards of an adult 11-year-old boy. Now you must become a hideous monster. Oh, also, I'm gonna turn your whole staff of innocent people into frickin' 14th century appliances.
Curse upon your house and all within it.
What is wrong with you, lady? This old woman is clearly a magical psychopath. No exaggeration. If the town people took a few minutes to trace all the problems back to their root, they would have rightfully hunted her down and put the hag into a guillotine. Seriously, she has to go. And the worst part about it is, we're left with this theme of, well, the beast learned an important lesson and he's better for it. As if it validates what she did. No, absolutely not. The Enchantress is the only Disney villain who got away with everything, and frankly, it's unacceptable. There needs to be a sequel where she's publicly executed. We're dying to hear from you, our valued viewers, on who you believe is the most sinister and evil character in the film. This has been a topic of great controversy after all. Let us know who you think is the most evil character in Beauty and the Beast. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. But most importantly, stay wicked.